how to factor, right? Let's just take a quick hot minute to remember. Let's try number 1. So let's remember when we are doing factoring, let me get these dudes out of the way. The first thing that we want to do is we always want to equal it to 0. Yes. Oh, yes, I can. That's just a sorry about that. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is set it equal to 0. So let's get everything on one side and set it equal to 0. Make sure we're nice and careful when we do this. N squared minus 5n minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to use some pre-calc terminology that you guys knew, maybe. Anything with a squared term is called the quadratic term. This dude is called the quadratic term. Any dude with just a letter is called the linear term. Some of your teachers call it the middle term, and that's kind of alone. It's called the linear term. And any guy out here with just a number, he's called the constant. And we want them in that order, right? We want the biggest exponent to the middle exponent to none at all. And we're going to do x factoring. So remember this? You guys got this. Factors of -6 that make -5. Nice and easy. Factors of -6 that make -5. That's going to be -6 and 1. X minus 6. X plus 1 equals 0. That is factored form. That is not the answer. The answer is 6 and -1. X equals 6 and -1. Do you remember this? Yeah, everyone's kind of like, yay. Okay, let's try number 2. Let's take a look at number 2. And here comes number 2 on this one. Little bit trickier on number 2. If I can find where I put number 2. Where are you, number 2? You there somewhere? Why? Where's number 2? Oh, there he is. Here's number 2. Oh, that's not him. Here's number 2. Hey, look at that guy. Guess what? Oh my God. I don't want to do that problem, except we've done numbers. So sometimes we can take hard problems and make them easier by factoring out a monomial. That's the right language. If you had me as a teacher last year, we call this vacuuming. We're going to vacuum out a number that goes into 5, 60, and 175. Right? And 5 goes into 175, 35 times. So you're going to take out that 5 before you start. Because no one wants to do that. That's a nightmare. That is also, is that a hard problem? Yeah. Okay, something like that. Okay. 5's on the outside, x squared minus 12x plus 35 equals 0. And what people asked me last class, and this is a good question to ask, is what the hell do I do with that 5 on the outside? And here's what. If we are just factoring, there's no equal, he has to stay. But if there's an equal 0, we get to get rid of that dude. He just goes away. And that makes us super happy. So here we go. We're ready to just x factor this guy. Factors of 35 that make 12 are going to be -7, -5. So we're going to get 7 and 5. Easy? So far so good? Okay, here comes the next one. Love me the next one. Next one, get out of here too. What happens if you can't get rid of that number in the front? You have me, you did a thing called rainbow factoring.
Oh, no.
And if you didn't have me, I don't know what your teacher said. So try this one. Let me give you a quick refresher. Remember 2. Factors of 30 that make -17. See if you can remember how to do that. Remember though, we got to deal with that 3 2 times, both with the rainbow and the divided slide. Wow. So I'm listening to Jace tell me how to factor. I appreciate that. I'm not even doing it. I'm just telling him to tell me. Oops. Thank you. Now, that's not going to give you the right answer, right? I got to deal with this goofy 3 2 times, which means he goes underneath this guy and he goes underneath this guy. So my two answers are A equals 5, beautiful, and A equals 2/3. Beautiful, beautiful. Remember, it's we do the opposite. Yes, baby, I hear you. Huh? Are you allowed? Like, do they?
I'm a very good boy.
Do they, like, are you on some kind of no-fly list?
Oh, what the fuck? The opposite.
Are you on some kind of no-fly list?
Huh? No, I'm good.
You put it right there.
Okay.
I feel like it's like it's like blinking bright red and like there's some noise going on. Is it bad? Okay. So the last one that we want to look at is this dude, but there's two ways to do this way. He's going to lead us into our last one. So here we go. We can do it like this. If it's a two-parter, it's going to be a plus and a minus, x and x, 9 and 9, -9, +9. That's one way. We're going to talk about the other way right now because our second way of doing these is dun 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 square roots. Here's the deal for me. How do I know when to do square roots? When I don't have a linear term. When I don't have a dude with just a plain x. Look at this guy. I have an x squared, and then I just have two random weird numbers. So when I have that, here's what I do. I get the x by itself and everything else on the other side. So let's do that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, 6x squared. I'm going to move that 10 over, equals 30. Did I lose anyone? I can't do that if there's an x guy, but since he's gone, this is the fastest way. Watch what I'm going to do after that. I'm going to divide both sides by 6, and I'm at this point, x squared equals 5, right? What's the last thing I need to do to get rid of that squared? How do I get rid of a squared? I square root it, right? And here's what I got to remember. That frees this guy from, like, gets him just to x, and it gets this guy to be square root of 5. But here's what you need to remember. There are two answers. That's only one answer. Negative and positive. Beautiful. Plus and minus. Plus and minus. Okay. Try the next one by yourself. You're going to get kind of a little bit of a funky answer, like a little ghost might be in your jail. You know, like an imaginary friend. You'll see. You'll see. It's imaginary. You might have to float out. Oh, just wait. In a few seconds, we're going to talk about square root jam. That's right. Stop. Yes. So did you get I, root 14, but there's a plus and a minus as always. Because we can't ever have a negative in the square root, so it floats out like a little imaginary friend that sits in the front. You always do, because that gives us two answers. Next one I want you to write up, I'm going to write it myself. This one is going to be a little tricky. It's weird. I can't. It's pre-calc. You fix this.
I did.
So for those of you who had me last year, my hint for you is this, square root gel. We had a little square root gel happening. For those of you who didn't have me, you're going to be like, I have no idea. But that's okay. The rest of you, I guess, is really, you have to simplify the term.
5 plus minus.
And often when you put the I behind the two, so that's for convention, it's not really wrong, but it's too.
I think that's how you do it.
What's in this one? Oh, we factor. Why? You came up with this. Oh my god, it's like the thing we used to do.
Jail.
The little jail, yeah.
Yep.
I hated that segment.
I love it. So first thing is, almost everyone's got the I coming out. Yay for you. That is awesome. If you got that and you're feeling pretty good about yourself, you are almost there. And here's what you need to remember on everything for this whole chapter. We need to make certain that we can't simplify this. We can't take stuff out. Now, you probably, those of you who had normal human teachers, learned like how to simplify by looking for perfect squares. And if you did, yay for you. I am now going to tell you how I teach it. So in my mind, the deal is this. This is jail, right? And in order to leave jail, you have to escape from jail. And in order to escape from jail, you're going to need help. And the way you're going to get help is it turns out your twin brother, yes, I think a lot about this. Your twin brother is going to help you escape from jail. So you and your twin brother, you're 3, your twin brother's 3, you get to the fence, right? And your twin brother's like, dude, I'll help you up. And you're like, cool. So he helps you up. And here you are. You're climbing over the fence. You're almost there. But the guards come. Oh, no, here comes the guards. They're coming. They have guns. And you know what? They shoot your brother. Ah, he dies. You make it out. That's how it works. And you're like, what the hell does that mean? Watch what happens.
And then the odd ones can't.
Yes. So I break this into 5 times 4. I can't break down 5 anymore, but I can break this down into 2 and 2. The minute I see a pair, 1 comes out, 1 dies in the process. The 2 comes out, the other 2 dies in the process, and the 5 has no twin. So he stays sad, lonely, in jail, waiting. It is, but we like conventionally to put it in the back because it clearly, if you have an imaginary friend, they're just going to follow behind you. No, but what you want to make sure is when you take a placement test for college in the spring, watch for that, right? They're going to put it as 2 and then the I. Yeah. Question, are we okay on that? Yeah? Okay, so with that said, we got one last one, and it's the worst one. Oh, it's the worst one. You know it's coming. You know if we're solving quadratics. Here it is. You want to write this down somewhere. Oh, we have 2 of these to do right now and 2 on your homework. And then maybe not a lot. Oh, it's coming. Yes, it is. It's the quadratic formula. I had a kid one year tell me that he didn't want to learn factoring. He just wanted to do everything in quadratic formula. And I thought, you're literally, okay. So here it is. You ready? Let's write it down. I will sing. M. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac.
I'm dropping this class.
All over. You picked this class 2A. So I'm not going to lie. They're tedious. They're not that hard. I'm not putting big numbers in. That's not my jam. But I am going to tell you a couple things. Yay. So first thing, Liam's going to put me out of a job up here. The first guy in front of the quadratic term is always my A. The guy in front of the linear term is my B. The guy with just a number is my C. Please do me a favor when you're doing these problems. Write it like this so I can give you partial credit. If you blow the whole thing, I can at least know you set it up right. I'm going to give you one other hint. This is where you're going to die, right here. So for me, I do not write it negative 4ac. Watch carefully. I do this plus negative 4 times a times c. That little difference of plus negative 4 is going to stop you from blowing the negative in here. Because that's where, when I walked around today, the kids are like, why didn't I get the right answer? That's where it happens.
Would the negative one not apply to both?
It does, but it just, you just, like you take the,
Just do A plus C.
it's A times C times 4, negative 4.
Huh?
It's negative 4 times A times C.
But where'd you get negative 4 from?
That's the formula.
Do AC first, then you do negative
You can, or you can do negative 4 first, whatever. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go. I'm plugging it in. Negative 5 plus or minus
5k squared.
5 squared.
But not like it.
Because I just want the letter. Plus negative 4 times A times C. All over 10. Where the hell did I get 10 from?
Oh, wait, so you don't do letters.
Nope, no letters.
Oh.
Okay,
Where did you get it from?
so what?
Oh, 2a.
2A, 2 times 5. Now, I love the whiteboard desk, because here's what you can do. You can erase as you go. You guys ready? If you have it written on your whiteboard desk, we start from the inside out. We're going to take care of this garbage first. Negative 4 times 5. It is just 20. Beautiful. Yes. Okay. Now we're doing this guy. Now we're doing the two guys together. Now you're feeling pretty confident right now, like, Miss T, am I done? Look for a jailbreak. 9 5.
Plus, minus, 3.
Take those two. One comes out, one stays in. That's it. Here's what. You must go slowly, because who the hell knows if that's the right answer or not? Plugging it in would be a nightmare. What? That is the answer. We're going to do that next. Right? Here's why you can't. Great question, Jordan. Here's what. So here's what I want you to think about the weird Mrs. Tarantino way. You are at a family reunion, and you're talking to your uncle. You're talking to your aunt. But you have a weird cousin who's a drug dealer, and he's in jail. He's not at the family reunion. You can't interact with him. So here's what. I am going to be interacting with this guy. Oh, come back, dude. I'm going to be interacting with, oh, why? Oh, I don't know where you're going. Okay. I'm going to interact with this guy, and this guy. I can only simplify it if all 3 outside guys can be reduced. And nothing goes into 5, 10, and 3. So, nice and slow with your neighbors. Please try number 7. Nice and slow. Do it together. Here it is. I'm going to make it nice and, I'm going to bring them over and make them nice and big. Careful. It's not in the right order. Make it equal 0. Put that linear term in the middle. It's your B. And look, they don't have to have big numbers to be quadrat, to be negative, all right. Negative B plus or minus, I swear to God, I sing it, B squared plus negative 4AC all over 2A. I'm going to give you a hint on this one. It is simplifiable. 24 to get split up.
Whoa, that's a lot of
I need you really to do this. Done. You see what I'm saying?
Two. Okay, wait, can you come here real quick?
Oh, sure.
So put that in the center. 4, 2 out. And so it's going to be -4 plus or minus 2, 2 over,
Huh?
over 2. 2a. Now I'm looking at this guy, this guy, this guy. Is there a number that goes in all of it? All 3. It's got to be all
Oh,
3.
two.
2
I'm
times.
in. Yeah.
Yes, so that goes in there 2 times. 2 goes in there 2 times.
Oh, okay, that's just happening.
And that goes in there 1 time, goes away, and that's 1. Reduce. Boom, boom.
Oh, you just timed it. 6.
No. Yes. And yes, because he's the weird uncle in jail, and you can't interact long enough. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Can they? Is there a number that does it? Yes. And did you get rid of the one? Yeah, because they just, you know, this one.
Oh, yeah.
So look at your answers. 2 plus or minus 6. Yeah.
I'm getting twice over. Twice over. Two. No.
Actually, like, is the line here ain't there? Number 2?
In my head it was. In your head it was. It's simplified.
Right? Cool. Hey, here's what I got. 4. No. 2 plus or minus √6. How did you feel? You did okay?
You get rid of the ones because you can buy this.
Because now that you know yourself, right? Marina said that's going to be on you. Right here, right. We'll keep you down if you like a pro. Bye, COVID kids. No kids.